You reach a point in your life where all the things that you thought once upon a time mattered don't really matter anymore. Like, once upon a time, life meant a certain way. There were a set of rules to what life should or shouldn't be. And as we age, as we experience this life, as we gain more experience, go through circumstances, things that went exactly as we desired, and many other things that never went as we had wished. See, these experiences start to change us. These experiences start to redefine our understanding of life. And once upon a time, when I used to hear about people who would change their path, change their career, go through a second divorce, third divorce, midway through life, or completely change their circumstances at the age of 40, at the age of 50, I would question them. I struggled to understand what it was all about. But these days I start to feel that way. These days I start to have a different perspective to why people reach a breaking point and they have no choice but to stop, turn around, reconsider, reassess, and perhaps start all over again on a different path. This is perhaps even more true for us men, because most of us enter in this life not really knowing what this experience is going to be about. Whereas for a lot of women, the purpose of life is raising a family. The purpose of life is giving birth, to raising their kids to become the best human beings they can possibly be. A lot of us men don't necessarily share that foundational desire to be parents. It's something we inevitably end up doing, and hopefully we do our best at it. Unfortunately, many of us don't, but we struggle with this understanding of what life is. We struggle with this meaning that we must create for our own life. The meaning is coming through us. It's not an outside source. But the problem is, in our entire first decade, or first 2 or 3 decades sometimes, every definition of life that we have received is coming from the outside. So how can we possibly have redefined or defined any meaning, given any meaning to life internally? We are not taught to go within. We are not taught to meditate. We are not taught to sit down with our thoughts, to journal, to go on rides like I do here, and have no distractions and be alone with your own thoughts, with your own desires, with your own regrets and guilt and loves and lust and all of it, everything that makes you who you think you are. I'd like to say that there's always room for growth. There's always room to reconsider decisions. But as we age, that becomes less and less true, man. As we age, time becomes more finite. And not only that, but you start to value that finite amount of time more and more. It starts to feel like it's all moving faster. And in some ways, maybe it is. Because if our perception is telling us that, and we can pretty much all agree on that, then who's to prove it otherwise? If our experience in life is that as we age, time moves faster, then maybe it does. And it's our responsibility to use that time wisely. It's our responsibility to say more no, to turn people down, to disappoint people from time to time because we have to prioritize our own existence. All the people who love you, all the people you love, need you to be at your very best, or at least close to it, in order to be in service for them, in order to be present for them, in order to love them on day-to-day basis. And we don't think enough about that, because sometimes that means the quality time that you get to spend with your loved ones is short, it's limited. But the quality of that limited amount of time is valuable, is gold, it's divine. And that's how we should really consider our relationships, our interactions, our mental health, our social skills, and our social health, if that's a term. I started this channel wanting to improve my own social health and maybe helping one or two other people along the way. And as I learn more and more in this journey, I realize I need so much time to be alone in order for me to be able to create anything worth your while, and to even be present enough in my own social interactions day after day. And so that means so much of my time is spent alone, meditating, working out, playing music, or just cooking or riding a bike, and just enjoying my own company. And I think as men, we need to get better at that. We need to get better at giving ourselves, showing ourselves some love. We need to get better at doing nothing, pleasing no one. We need to get better at spending some quality time with ourselves and not be in a rush to make any money, to take anybody out, to go on a date, to serve our family, to be there for our kids. All of that is important, of course it is. But we need to learn that at the core, at the foundation of everything we do for the outside world, we must serve ourselves first.